Hey guys, it's John and Justin Pickle. Big bro, big bro. So, anyways, here we go, guys. We're talking about his first fix and flip. It's about my 30th, if you count back to 2014, 15. Got heavy after COVID. A lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones, but we're talking about this one here. How did we get this lead, Justin?
We got this lead through a inbound Google ad lead through a pay-per-lead company.
Yes, it was a company that I started with in late 21 after almost 2 decades of cold calling religiously. Myself, my marketers, VAs, loan officers, realtor partners, all the above. So when I first got introduced to PPC and PPL, I went from calling hundreds and hundreds of leads a day to 2, 3, 4, 5 leads a day on top of buying some auction properties. Ended up having a lot more free time and still making the same or more money in many cases, a lot more actually. But okay, so as we start here, step one, let's go back to how it all went down and how we made the first call and what happened from there.
Yeah, so the inbound lead came in, and we were both together. And we called it over the phone, and you were mainly handling the conversation, but it was a very short and sweet conversation. We mainly try to go after the 4 pillars, but we didn't really go too deep into that. We just figured out real quick on why she was selling and understood her motivation, and then set the appointment to go for the walkthrough.
All right, real quick, for those who don't know, what are the 4 pillars?
The 4 pillars are finding the price, finding that motivation, how soon they want to sell this property, and what the condition of the property is.
Beautiful. So here's my technique and strategy when I get a PPL lead. It's an expensive lead. It could cost anywhere from $100 to $200, some cases $300 to $400. Back at that time, it was between $150 to $200. So if it's close enough to my business and my house, and I hear a good sound in the seller's voice, any which way, just being a kind person, and I can evaluate it fully and honestly as a serious buyer, a serious wholesaler, and a serious realtor. So we went over there to do the full evaluation. We scheduled the appointment, and him and I together are unstoppable because whenever you have a young spirit, older lady, she loved us. We kicked it with her. We gave her a fair offer of $160,000 cash or $220,000 to list the property. So what happened from there, Justin? As she was going to move into her retirement home at Fox Run, which is a wealthy community, in a few months, and she told us that day she really wasn't interested in the listing, but I offered it to her anyway. We have 7 RE/MAX Classic offices in the area, one super close to her house, a half-mile away in Farmington Hills. So from that point, go ahead, Justin.
Because you're a Hall of Fame realtor.
I'm a Hall of Fame RE/MAX realtor. You get that for being with them for over 7 years. That proves loyalty, doing over $1 million commission. That's a lot of hard work and a lot of creative deals. Because they weren't $1 million deals. They were $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. There was some $1 million deals, but not a boatload. So that, which also led me to wholesaling in 2019 when I figured out that it was very ethical to wholesale and that you're helping a lot of people and you got to fulfill the needs and what else? Solve the problems and when they're in a pickle.
Yeah, well, everyone's in a pickle, and you just got to see how small or big their pickle is.
Yeah, and then what type of pickle it is. It could be a financial pickle in a lot of cases. Could be a health pickle, a hoarder pickle, a probate pickle, a divorce pickle, a foreclosure pickle. All these pickles. In this case, this lady was just in a pickle for some peace of mind and wanted a smooth transition.
Yeah, because she didn't want to deal with any of the maintenance anymore and wanted to just have that senior living community. She didn't have anyone living with her. Her husband passed away. So.
Yeah. So all he had to do was smile, show his hair, and and just show integrity. And that's what she believed because we evaluated and gave her offers. So as we went from step 1, we invested in the PPC leads together.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we did. All right. Step 2, we called the leads. We told you that you call immediately when this lead comes in.
Yeah.
I've
in
heard
a minute
this
or two.
in less than a minute or two, sometimes a split second. I've heard it over and over again. Whoa, I can't believe you called right away. So that should let you know that is a huge part of it.
Speed wins.
Speed wins. What's better than free?
Speed.
Fast. All right, so 4 pillars, you went over that. Step 2, in-person appointment. This is the way I love to do it for all wholesale flips, realtor, now novations, in-person appointments. If you're in Michigan, this guy's mastered it on a remote level nationwide. You see a lot of the youth do it that way. Guys like Jerry Norton, he when we were in Montana, gave me 5 because he said he liked going to the house. He likes the old-fashioned way as well. But here we go. So in-person appointment, in-person offer, $160,000. Seller needed a week to think about it, to talk to her children.
Mm-hmm. Children thought that. Well, I don't think her children thought anything, but you had a feeling that she had something in her voice, and you decided to give her a little more.
Yeah, she was the decision maker, and she was very sound and very, very nice lady. I actually have a great testimonial from her. Her name's Janice Bolton. You can check that out at WeBuyHousesAnywhere.com. So next, we gave her the 160K cash, 220K listing, and as Justin said, we had so much private money, and it was such a great deal, and we felt like we could probably wholesale it right away, or we were planning on flipping it. So we didn't, but we did check with a few go-to buyers. We ended up giving her $170,000, as he was saying. So the reason why we did that is we just felt like it was worth it and it was the right thing to do. 160 was fine. Her adult children who were very successful approved it. But, we went the extra mile. But something did happen. Her furnace went out, which was a brand new furnace that was supposed to have a warranty. So I called her about it. The furnace company didn't have a heat exchanger for like a year. And I asked her if she would pay for the furnace since we gave her the extra 10. She did. So she dished out a few thousand for that. That was super nice of her. She's a wonderful human being.
Now, you right where you were at, you skipped a step 4 when we were in the rehab. And that's when you asked to get some of that money back. And
oh, yes. So there we go. He's got it, guys. So anyways, we went from step 2 to step 3. We confirmed with Larry the lender.
Which is you as well, Mr. Larry.
Yeah, something like that. So Larry the lender here, he gave us $170,000. We came to the closing with about $4,000 for the closing costs, tax prorations, whatever. He also gave us $35,000 for rehab funds. We did a lot of work, a little more than extra. I painted the exterior brick. If I could circle back, I would not do that. I liked it before. It was chippy. It was kind of strange. One of the neighbors had a really good paint job, so that's what attracted me to that. But I think that's a mistake. You should rarely paint brick unless you really need to, and I don't think it was needed, but we did, and it was beautiful. So from that point, we were right there.
How did you find Larry the lender?
Larry the lender was from another one of my private lenders who I had about $1.5 million worth of other loans through, and a lot of them were closing, but they were tapped out, so they referred us to one of his good friends. Larry the lender owns a great flooring company. If you're interested in that, you could reach out. We'll lead you to him. It's in Michigan. So anyways, the $35K ran out quick. Larry the lender didn't want to give any more. Rehab was budget going over. I borrowed another $30 from my good friend, Mia, who I've known since 2012. We've closed about 20 deals together. We'll get into those videos at another time. He's also a private lender. He was at the closing with us.
Was this your first deal back with him since that time?
There might have been like a couple others right then. I'd have to really gauge that. We had about 4 or 5 going after we ran into each other after like 5 years of mini fallout. So we got the 30 from him. He got 33 back plus 12%. He's happy. We got into step 4. The rehab was a little crazy. It took longer than expected. They had unplugged. Yeah, there was some mini floods. We didn't understand why. It was just from an unplugged sump pump. There was no foundation problem, but it messed up some of the new waterproof vinyl flooring, which we ripped out and replaced. And that was that. So we got through that. And then what, Justin?
Yeah, well, after that, we had to deal with your favorite part, being the realtor.
Being the realtor, being the specialized listing agent, just as I do for my sellers, I get them the highest and best offer. So what happens here was step 5 and 4 were actually connected, because when I listed it and had 7 showings in one day, that's when the water problem happened, right while they were coming through the house. So that turned off a lot of the buyers. I let the showings go because I knew it wasn't a serious problem, but it was a turnoff, and I just wanted to sell the place. So after that, we took it off for about a week, got that done, put it back on the market. It didn't sell right away. It took longer than expected. Reason being was the finishes were average. So because they were average, we didn't have people beating down our door. It was still a phenomenal neighborhood. It was a good house. Took longer than expected on the market, maybe a month or two at least. And we ended up getting $320,000. We paid commission, and we made $21,500 each. And then on top of that, where else did I make some money, Justin?
Well, this is his favorite part as well, where he is the operator. So maybe you have a partner and your partner is a little more passive, and you're doing the operations. So you're managing the constructions, going to Home Depot, talking to them, figuring out how to do Google Translate with the Spanish crew, and making the deal as smooth as possible with what they need. So you have to pay yourself for your time, not just the profit.
Absolutely, absolutely. Your time is valuable. It's our most valuable asset. So I made close to $20,000 on the rehab at the end of the day, if you really look at it. So I'm thankful for that. If we had to do it again, what would we do?
If we had to do it again, we would do two options. We would clean it out and resell it on the market right away, or we would just sell it to another investor to handle that. Because what we do realize, having the speed of money and velocity of money will help us create more deals. So if we collected money sooner, we could have created more deals and did more PPC through the lead source that you can find in the link below to create more deals. So that's what we took as a learning lesson as we progressed in our journey to understand the cash conversion cycle of a fix and flip versus a wholesale or wholetail.
Great lessons, always blessings.
Yep.
Thanks for all your teamwork on this package.
You as well.
Appreciate you.